Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, July 2nd, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am worthy of the nurturing I need. And today we have our third eclipse of 2019. This is the third of 5 eclipses we are having this year. And a general year usually has like 4. So 5 is an extra. 2019 means business. And a major lesson we have of 2019 is the Cancer lesson. We have the North Node in Cancer. So that means the collective studies are in the area of Cancer. That is honoring your intuition, listening to your feels, knowing that your feels, your sensitivities, your emotions are communicating with you, sending you messages, that they have importance. And it's the overall message of nurturing. We need to nurture ourselves. We need to nurture our children. We need to nurture each other. We need to nurture the world that we live in. This is the call. This eclipse is very interesting. It's at that 10-degree energy. 10 degrees is that degree of worthiness. And I think that's one of the things is like we forget who we are and we fall into that old pattern, that Saturn and the South Node have been reminding us of, listening to the shoulds and showing up for everybody but ourselves and our families. Basically, giving till we have nothing left to give to, to capitalism and and that kind of thing that doesn't ultimately love us. May pay our bills in part at least, but doesn't ultimately give us that love and nurturing that we need. So this is a call back to that energy. Now, something to note with eclipse energies, it is a download. It brings like energies in for us to learn. So we will be unpacking this download for the next little bit. Now, the last time we had a download like this was about 9 years ago, 2010, 2011. We were faced with these eclipse patterns, these Cancer, Capricorn eclipses. And then 9 years before that, 2001. So 9 years ago was preparing us for that 2012 shift. Before that was, in America, that 9/11 energy, which definitely united us for a while. You know, when things happen, we tend to be nicer to each other. This is a call for us to be nicer to each other without disaster striking. In realizing we are all connected. Part of what we need to do in order to be nicer to each other and kinder to this world, Mother Earth that we live in or on, is to nurture ourselves. Because the problem is we are stressed and pressed and we do too much. And all of that energy radiates out in stress till one little thing happens and we snap. So this is a call to remember you are worthy of the nurturing that you need. And this is a call to stop and tune into what is it you need, and to be aware that it's okay for you to ask for what you need from the universe, from yourself, please, from your family, from your friends, and especially to yourself. Are you showing up for your needs? Now, a big thing to be aware of in this energy is stop following and falling into those old patterns. A lot of us fall into these patterns based on those shoulds and based on lower self-worth. Well, if I do this, I will be worthy. If I do this for this person, I will be worthy. And this is part of what is taxing us. Be very aware of the patterns. Be very aware, especially if there's things that are taxing you. What are you doing? And how do you stop that? How do you put that down? I was going to show you this at the end, but now it feels like the time. I decided to pull an after tarot card. A friend got these for me a while ago, and I was like, yeah, after the eclipse, what? And I love it. I pulled the 10 of Wands. And basically, he was carrying too much, and they've kind of fallen down around him. And I like the little write-up in here. The 10 of Wands is the card of perseverance. So we're going to keep going. Card of perseverance, even in the face of confusion and dismay. A laborer sits and leans against a solitary timber like a crutch. while he looks down at 9 other wands that have fallen in disarray. When he catches his breath, he can make short work of the remaining task at hand. Short work. Put down the extra. We are all carrying way too much, and when we're carrying too much, we can't be present for the task at hand, and we can't be present to nurture ourselves and nurture our soul seeds that are wanting to bloom. They so want to bloom, but they need the energy, they need the nourishment, and we, as humans, need that nourishment. This is a big call. Now, the other thing to be very aware of is a lot of us, this is not a pattern just from this lifetime. This is a pattern from multiple lifetimes. This is an ancestral pattern. This is something to be aware of. This is mother energy very strongly with Cancer energy, but this could be ancestral on either side. What patterns are you falling into? You know, what sayings did your family have that you're still living by, even if you don't necessarily believe them? We hear these things as we're growing up, and then we live by these energies. Even if everything we believe is the opposite, we hear those voices, those memes deep within. My meme for my family is, your best is not good enough. And that has had me striving for perfectionism to extreme points at various times in my life. So this is a call to notice those things that your family said that you may be living unconsciously. That's something about this eclipse energy. It's the shadow of the moon. The moon reveals what is hidden. The moon can represent that psyche, the subconscious, these things that are buried deep inside. So a lot of these things are very subconscious to us. They are unconscious things that we are acting out through emotional energies. These things are being raised to the surface. So pay attention. If something feels off, don't be afraid to do the inquiry, because that is what this eclipse energy is meant to bring. It's also meant to help us shift. Eclipses bring change, and I love that the last aspect of the day before the eclipse is a connection between the moon and Uranus. And Uranus brings that change energy, it brings that revolution energy, and it is at 5 degrees, and 5 degrees is that degree of consciousness, of being mentally aware. So moon and Cancer connecting to Uranus and Taurus. There's that worth stuff. So it's worth consciousness, and where are you staying comfortable in these old patterns instead of embracing the change that is beckoning you at this time? Now I'm gonna say it. Baby steps are okay. I didn't even look at my cards that I have. I do not have the baby steps card. I do not have the moment by moment card. Baby steps are okay. Awareness is really key in all of this. We can't always change overnight. Sometimes that happens. I think it's good when it doesn't happen, because that can be a little extreme. But little by little, implement that truth that you are worthy of the nurturing you need. You are worthy of making the changes. You are worthy of putting down the excess and the extra that you have been carrying that does not serve your highest purpose. Because the truth is, when it's not serving your highest purpose, on that soul sense, it is not serving anybody else's highest purpose either. So you don't have to be Superman, you don't have to be Superwoman and take on everybody's everything. So there's a few other interesting things beyond this eclipse. Before I finish up with the eclipse, I don't know where my book is with my Sabian symbols. The Sabian symbol for this eclipse I love is basically, here it is, my cheat sheet, right up from doing my readings. A large diamond in the final stages of the cutting process. There's that saying that a diamond is a piece of coal that held up to pressure exceptionally well. We are all diamonds in the rough. And we're cutting off the excess through this energy. Be aware what needs to go through this time. This is a new moon solar eclipse, so it's a beautiful time for intentions. But in order to bring things in, we often have to release. Again, what is being called to release? What is being called to be cut off at this time so you can shine at your highest, best, and greatest? Few last details. This eclipse, the peak of it, happens at 12:16 p.m. Pacific time. That is 3:16 p.m. Eastern time. We cannot see it here in the States. The eclipse will start, I think it begins at like 9:55 a.m. Pacific time, so it will be starting. And it's funny because the sun will be out, but I guess it's South America who can see it. So, but the energy still affects you just as much, whether you see what's going on or whether you don't. Okay, so the other astro to be aware of in and through this energy, besides that South Node working Saturn, reminding us to stop falling into those old patterns, to stop giving away that authority. We have Venus at 29 degrees Gemini, 29 degrees, that master degree. Venus representing our worth consciousness. It is giving us mirrors outside of ourselves, whether these are mirrors that do reflect those that treat us as if we are worthy, or if that mirror reflects those who are maybe too wrapped up in their own stuff, their own world, whatever. We are seeing those mirrors. So be very aware of those mirrors. And it's okay to choose you. It's okay to choose to show up for what you need. We also have Mars in Leo at 0 degrees still. So you may be tired. Please take the rest that you need. It's really important to give yourself what it is that you need in and through this energy. Mars will come online and that fire energy will be popping, but right now, as it's at that 0 degrees, it may feel a little zero. 0 is that transformation degree. This connects into inner child and connects into the heart energy. So nurture those energies again to help you show up in your best light. All right, so let's look at these cards I have. Clinging to the past. What are we holding on to? What are we holding on to that needs to be let go? What are you holding on to that needs to be let go? Because, oh my God, there's such a beautiful future there for you. Here's the dream and the friendliness card. These are cards of divine love. And the universe is like, there's the possibility of it. But first, you've got to get into this alignment of who you are. You've got to get into that alignment of your divine worthiness. You need to remember, to quote Rumi, you are the soul of the universe, and your name is love. So remember that. Remember that and care for yourself appropriately. I guess the last thing to mention is there are feels up the wazoo. So be aware that everybody is feeling these feels to one degree or another. And for some, it's making them emotional. Some people are getting very cranky. Some people are even silly. Some people are spaced out because there's so much going on. Try to remain patient with all that's going on because everybody's feeling these eclipse energies. And again, bring that focus back to yourself. What is it that you need? If you're getting thrown off by somebody else's energy, that's calling you back to yourself. So, all right, I think that is it for right now. Take a second. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for these eclipse energies that do bring us the potent lessons that we need often as humans to go through the changes. Besides that, you can always book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.